Saadi Shirazi. Saadi Shirazi, also known as Saadi of Shiraz, was a major Persian poet and prose writer of the medieval period. He is recognized for the quality of his writings and for the depth of his social and moral thoughts. Saadi is widely recognized as one of the greatest poets of the classical literary tradition, earning him the nickname the Master of Speech or the Wordsmith or simply Master among Persian scholars. He has been quoted in the Western traditions as well. Bustan has been ranked as one of the 100 greatest books of all time by The Guardian. Biography. Saadi was born in Shiraz, Iran, according to some, shortly after 1200, according to others sometime between 1213 and 1219. In the Golestan, composed in 1258, he says in lines evidently addressed to himself, "O you who have lived 50 years and are still asleep." Another piece of evidence is that in one of his Qasida poems he writes that he left home for foreign lands when the Mongols came to his homeland Fars, an event which occurred in 1225. Saadi was a Sunni Muslim. According to Anne-Marie Schimmel, the tendency of Shia to associate with the Sunni poet became the norm after Twelver Shi'ism became the state religion of the Safavid Empire. Saadi Shirazi, whose family were from religious scholars, lost his father when he was a child. Then he was under the guardianship of his maternal grandmother. He narrates memories of going out with his father as a child during festivities. After leaving Shiraz, he enrolled at the Nizamiya University in Baghdad, where he studied Islamic sciences, law, governance, history, Persian literature, and Islamic theology. It appears that he had a scholarship to study there. In the Golestan, he tells us that he studied under the scholar Abul Faraj ibn al-Jawzi, presumably the younger of two scholars of that name, who died in 1238. In the Bustan and Golestan, Saadi tells many colorful anecdotes of his travels, although some of these, such as his supposed visit to the remote eastern city of Kashgar in 1213, may be fictional. The unsettled conditions following the Mongol invasion of Crimea and Iran led him to wander for 30 years abroad through Anatolia, where he visited the port of Adana and near Konya met Ghazi landlords, Syria, where he mentions the famine in Damascus, Egypt, where he describes its music, bazaars, clerics and elites, and Iraq, where he visits the port of Basra and the Tigris River. In his writings he mentions the Qadis, Muftis of Al-Azhar, the Grand Bazaar, music and art. At Halab, Saadi joins a group of Sufis who had fought arduous battles against the Crusaders. Saadi was captured by Crusaders at Acre, where he spent 7 years as a slave digging trenches outside its fortress. He was later released after the Mamluks paid ransom for Muslim prisoners being held in Crusader dungeons. Bustan and Gulistan. Saadi's best-known works are Bustan, The Orchard, completed in 1257, and Gulistan, The Rose Garden, completed in 1258. Bustan is entirely in verse, epic meter. It consists of stories aptly illustrating the standard virtues recommended to Muslims: justice, liberality, modesty, contentment, and reflections on the behavior of dervishes and their ecstatic practices. Gulistan is mainly in prose and contains stories and personal anecdotes. The text is interspersed with a variety of short poems which contain aphorisms, advice, and humorous reflections, demonstrating Saadi's profound awareness of the absurdity of human existence. The fate of those who depend on the changeable moods of kings is contrasted with the freedom of the dervishes. Regarding the importance of professions, Saadi writes, "O darlings of your fathers, learn the trade, because property and riches of the world are not to be relied upon. Also silver and gold are an occasion of danger, because either a thief may steal them at once or the owner spend them gradually. But a profession is a living fountain and permanent wealth. And although a professional man may lose riches, it does not matter, because a profession is itself wealth, and wherever you go you will enjoy respect and sit on high places, whereas those who have no trade will glean crumbs and see hardships." Saadi is also remembered as a panegyrist and lyricist, the author of a number of odes portraying human experience, and also of particular odes such as the Lament on the Fall of Baghdad after the Mongol invasion in 1258. His lyrics are found in Ghazaliyat, lyrics, and his odes in Qasid, odes. He is also known for a number of works in Arabic. In the Bustan, Saadi writes of a man who relates his time in battle with the Mongols. "In Isfahan I had a friend who was warlike, spirited, and shrewd. After long I met him. 'O Tiger Caesar,' I exclaimed, 'what has made thee decrepit like an old fox?'